I think people are hesitant to make predictions about the future, and therefore they're projecting status quo. I do think that there's a lot of opportunities in different pockets of the economy, and we are seeing some optimism in that regard. I think that it's just like during the pandemic, there were kind of winners and losers naturally. I think that's also true now in this post-pandemic environment. But the election, the certainty of having the future in front of us in that regard, politically, I think that's going to move the needle. I think that people are going to be more confident about what we're moving into, and I think that'll open the doors as we get into 2025 to continue and increase.
So we've heard from our clients in 2024, and what we observed was pretty flat economic development. We saw that there were not the same number, frequency, size of the mergers and acquisitions that previously during the pandemic we saw. We found a lot of our clients are holding on to their capital and their cash and are having challenges seeking investments. So that is one area where we've been kind of flat, holding fast though, and anticipating an increase in 2025. And so far we've seen that. We've seen an increase particularly in the number of deals, the number of acquisitions, sales, buys. So that has been very encouraging. As far as on the employee side, I think we'll see a little bit more growth, especially in our area, than what is predicted nationally right now.
Yeah, our client base in terms of the economic future of the country, I think are pretty optimistic. I do think that most of our clients are anticipating policy change that will benefit them as opposed to hurt them.
Yeah, so in regards to what our clients are waiting for in 2025, we're expecting interest rates to stay roughly the same. And in the lending business, that's a big driver for us. We expect interest rates to stay roughly where they are for a majority of the year, and near the end of 2025 start to decrease. And so from a borrowing cost, that's not going to change much. Our clients are telling us that in the inflation that they have seen over the last 3 years is starting to slow down, and so that's good news. It's still elevated, quite high, but it's not nearly as high as it once was, and so there's some good news on that front. In our particular areas, what we're seeing is still a lot of problems with land availability and inventory on homes and those kind of things. And so that's a challenge that we don't see really lessening anytime in the next couple months at least. The key question for our clients out there is, when and how do people just get used to this new environment we're in with increased cost, higher interest rates? We've had such a long period of low interest rates that we've had this higher interest rates for a good couple of years. And how long does it take for the consumer to get used to it and get out and start spending again, which will then help the businesses?
I would say from what expectations our clients are expecting around employment and the economy and so forth fall under one of the big headings I always talk about is just uncertainty. And I think whatever your positions were with the election, I think the election eliminated some uncertainty in many ways because I think there's some expectation of what's to come. And across the board, a lot of businesses feel like that they at least understand and kind of know what that environment looked like. So not to get too political here, but I think to some extent, one of the things that I always feel like holds up businesses is just that uncertainty, and I feel like that's been resolved. I think there are still some of my clients that could hire some more folks if they could find them. There are some sectors where they are, looking for more folks to bring in. I think too, just because of competition and so forth, I think wages continue to go up in industries. I know in our industry that's an ongoing battle as well. So I think that's going to continue to provide some headwinds, but I think the biggest thing is resolving that uncertainty that was existing for half of this year probably.